All right, everybody, welcome back to Vuln Vibes, the show that
Mhm.
keeps you in the know about all the latest security vulnerabilities and,
That's right.
how much we all love those cool
Oh,
visualizations,
yeah.
dashboards, graphs, just making sense of the data.
Mhm.
But what happens when those tools that we rely on to, shed light on things,
Right.
what happens when they spring a leak?
Oh,
That's what we're diving into today, and we're talking about Kibana,
Kibana.
that open source data visualization tool, and we've got two new vulnerabilities,
Oh.
one of which is rated high severity.
Mhm. Okay.
So before we get too far into the weeds, can you give us a quick, Kibana 101?
Sure. Kibana is essentially a way to visualize your data. You can
Mhm.
think about it as like, you have all this raw data, right?
Right.
And you want to make sense of it. So you use Kibana to create these dashboards, graphs, charts
Hmm.
that really help you kind of understand what's going on with all that information.
Okay, so it takes the raw data and turns it into something that's,
Exactly.
human readable.
More digestible. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, let's jump into it then, because we've got this high severity vulnerability, CVE 2024-43707.
Right.
Give us the rundown on this one. What makes it so dangerous?
So this one has a CVSS score of 7.7, which is pretty high.
Yeah.
And it could allow unauthorized access to sensitive information that's stored in those elastic agent policies.
Okay, now when you say elastic agent policies, what what exactly are those, and what kind of sensitive information are we talking about here?
So elastic agent policies, they basically provide instructions on how your data is collected,
Right.
processed, and then sent to Kibana.
Gotcha.
And the sensitive information that we're talking about here is related to integrations and configurations.
Okay.
So basically how Kibana is connected to other systems.
So, for example, if I'm using Kibana to visualize data from, say, my cloud storage or my customer database, could this vulnerability expose those credentials?
Exactly. An attacker could gain access to things like API keys or database connection strings,
Hmm.
other settings that you really don't want in the wrong hands.
Yikes. So that's a pretty big deal, and this impacts a wide range of Kibana versions, right?
Yeah, it impacts versions 8.0 all the
Yeah.
way up to 8.15.0.
So if you're using Kibana, chances are you need to take action.
You need to update now. Yeah,
But wait, there's more.
there is more.
We've got another vulnerability.
They do.
CVE 2024-43710.
Yes, and this one's a server-side request forgery, or SSRF,
Okay.
and it's rated medium severity, so it has a CVSS score of 4.3.
Right.
But it can still be a problem because it exploits the API Fleet Health Check API.
Okay, break that down for me a little bit, because I think,
Yeah.
not everyone's going to understand what that means.
So imagine an attacker.
Yeah.
They craft this malicious request, right?
Okay.
And they disguise it as a normal health check request.
Gotcha.
And then this request contains instructions to fetch data from, like, say, your internal database server.
Hmm.
So basically, it bypasses all the security measures that you have in place.
It's like leaving a back door open to your crown jewels, basically.
Pretty much.
Okay, well, that's not good either.
Whoa.
So you carry out. We've got these two vulnerabilities, one high, one medium, both potentially putting, sensitive information at risk. But the good news is there's a patch, right?
There is good news.
Oh, thank goodness.
There's a patch available. Kibana has released version 8.15.0, and it addresses both of these vulnerabilities. So
Awesome.
if you haven't already, go and update like right now.
Yeah, that update button is your friend.
It is your friend.
You got to click it. You got to keep things up to date.
Absolutely.
Well, as we wrap up here, let's kind of zoom out for a minute.
Sure.
These vulnerabilities in Kibana, do they say anything about the security of data visualization tools as a whole?
That's a good question. And I think it really highlights the importance of thinking about security, even with those tools that, may seem harmless.
Right.
As we're connecting more systems,
Right.
creating these really complex integrations, we're creating more and more of these potential vulnerabilities.
So it's not just about having those fancy dashboards and all the, the bells and whistles.
It's also about making sure that those dashboards are built on a solid foundation of security.
Exactly.
You got it. All right, folks. Well, that's it for this week's deep dive on Vuln Vibes. Stay safe out there and keep those systems patched.
Stay vigilant.
We'll see you next time.
See you later.